So we're in the River Garden in the Bronx, and it's called the River Garden because it's right next to the Bronx River, literally 20 feet away. A basic rainwater harvesting system has some kind of surface to collect water. Where it's a rain garden or a swale, it's the ground that's collecting the water and holding the water. In this case, the collector is a roof, and it could be a roof of an adjacent building. In this case, there was no adjacent building that had a downspout for us to use, so we had to build a structure that had a solid roof. In this case, it's made out of corrugated metal. The same material that's on the walls is on the roof of this building. So that's your collector surface. Then you have to have pipes or gutter to convey the water into your tank. It's your holding tank that holds the water until you need to use it. So the water that flows off of this roof into the middle gutter that you see here then flows into the tank in the summertime. Right now it's winter, so we're not collecting water because of the threat of the water freezing and expanding and cracking the pipes or the tank. So we always set up the systems so that they can be turned off in the wintertime and then turned back on in the summertime. There's either some kind of valve that turns it on and off, or what we use in a lot of situations is a plumber's T, where we block off one area. But during the summertime, the water would flow into the tank, and then as needed, the gardeners could use this spigot here to attach a hose to in order to water their plants. Rainwater harvesting systems like this provide several benefits. One being that it captures water to prevent pollution, water running into either the sewer systems or directly into water bodies around the city. And at the same time, the water has a use in order to water plants in the garden. The tanks come in all different sizes, so it's based on the size of your roof. The smaller your roof, the less tank area and holding area you're going to need. The larger your roof gets, the bigger your tank gets. Very important point to remember is you want to take advantage of gravity, and water always flows downhill. So you always want to plan for how you build your structure or how you capture your rainfall, that your piping is always going on a downward pitch, so you don't have to worry about that, because otherwise you're going to have a problem with water backing up. When you're building a structure like this, you very often have to deal with what's under the ground and try to build these strong enough so they're not going to go anywhere. So we sink the posts in concrete, and that means digging down 2 to 3 feet, and very often you'll run into all kinds of things when you start digging in the ground. So that's another thing to think about when you're doing a structure, is where you put it is in a location where you're not going to run into problems like that. So we're in the Phoenix Community Garden in Brownsville, Brooklyn, and it's a very large garden that grows lots of vegetables here. Right next door is a building, and what we've done here is connected the downspout of the building to 1,000-gallon rainwater harvesting tanks. So as the water flows off of the roof, it is diverted by that T to come into the tank in the summertime. Right now, in the wintertime, we're not collecting rainwater, so the water comes straight down and then is fed into underground pipes that drain the water into the underground in the garden here. So none of the water makes its way into the city sewer system. This is called a first flush or a roof washer, and what this does is collect the dirtiest water, which is the first flush of water that comes off of the roof. So this will fill up first, and once this is full, then the rest of the water will go into the rainwater tank. After each rainfall, there's a valve that you open up to drain the water out and then close it back up again so it's ready for the next rainfall. We try to size the system so it will capture most of the rainfall that falls throughout the year, or at least throughout the growing season. But in some cases, where there is a big storm where you'll get more rain than you have designed for, or you get two rainfall events that happen back to back and you haven't had time to use the rainwater that you've captured, then it's always important to have an overflow built in so that if the tank or tanks fill up, that the water is diverted to go somewhere away from the building so you're not causing any flooding or drainage problems, and into a spot that can handle it. And this is where tying it together with a rain garden works really well. There are over 90 community gardens throughout the city that have rainwater harvesting systems or rain gardens or swales in them, and you can also build these things at home.
Go home and ask yourselves how you can take action to incorporate greener design into your landscapes. For example, take a look at your roof. Investigate its weight-bearing capacity and learn how it can be even better protected by installing a green or living roof. Look into creating a small rain garden, even a seasonal one that lets you divert water from your gutters just for the summer.
For more information, please visit grownyc.org.